At the Ruskin, I was painting a lot of bodies, but sort of belly buttons and parts of bodies. There was a whole penis section. There was, kind of different obsessions with different body parts. And the anatomy, obviously, as well, was feeding into that. I think the reason I paint bodies now mainly is to do with the sort of phenomenological, like the fact that that's the site of experience and that's the thing I experience the world through. I feel like we're often quite disconnected from, ironically. So how to explore that, but also that is the lens, the kind of filter, the vessel. And it's a way that I can then extend my experience of being a body through working things out in painting. It is a really exciting thing for me to think about skin and stretching and gravity and aging and weight and insides and outsides. They're all kind of languages of paint. Colour's something that I'm really trying to interrogate more for myself at the moment because it's the one thing which is almost purely instinctual. Colour comes from information to do with the body, sometimes like pain, but how the pain, like red can stand for pain, but red can also stand for like extreme pleasure, for instance, like post-orgasm, or it can also stand for blood inside the body. I think there's also things to do with paint, obviously, as a painter that are really pleasurable. The names of paint, the colours, how they feel, each one does have a weight to it, a gravity, but also has a viscosity, which shifts, and a transparency, which changes. So then colour overlaid can do all sorts of other things. Describing skin, temperature, and maybe an inside of the body and an emotion all at the same time is something I'm really excited about. The playful aspect of pushing and pulling is definitely fundamental to making the figures. And then the stretching of the characters, I guess I allow them to be like ridiculous. And the other tension in that sense is like how real they need to be versus something that looks like it's a tool almost. When I was invited to make the print with King Magor, originally my idea was how could the bodies print with themselves? And then I guess because the project developed over quite a long time, it was space to think about the idea of that, thinking about how they could use each other's bodies to create colour, so create new colour, new information within the print that I hadn't supplied. It was really exciting. We were using a tricolour process where I decided primary colours could operate in that way really well. So they would begin to mix secondary and tertiary colours with their own bodies. Each body is designated a colour and then overlaid with another body. And the bodies are kind of looking inside each other or overlap to an extent where they look quite confused, like they're becoming each other's bodies. But once they get separated out in your mind, once you read the image, you realise they're all doing something to each other. The whole thing is about ideation of a print, essentially. What we've got in the end is this 3 different combinations of these colours, which provide a really rich variation. And I was so interested in that spectrum of like the functional colours of the body versus the more sensorial or kind of dialed up, hyperbolized notions of around the body. And they're all there at once, which is really exciting.